Hello and welcome to this overview of some selected new features and improvements in Astrée 2604. In this video I like to talk about parallelization of rule checking, additions regarding macro support for our comment and suppress directives, new report options, and integrations of Astrée for GitLab as well as ARM KEIL Studio. With Astrée and RuleChecker 2604, the server-side parsing and rule checking of front-end level rules for C can now be parallelized. This means distributed over multiple threads of execution. With this method, a faster analysis can be achieved. There are multiple ways to configure the level of parallelization. One is to use the server controller. When you connect to your running server and then open the Management tab, under the Resources pane, you can find the new option Analyzer Parallelization. To change the level of parallelization, simply click the pencil button and enter the desired parallelization number. After a quick restart of the analysis server, analysis from now on will run with the new parallelization level. This option is also available via command line interface by passing the command line parameter --analyzer -parallelization followed by the number of desired parallelization to the A3C server. Or in case you prefer to use a temp server, the parameter -j, again followed by the desired number of parallelization. Those directives that apply to the original source code, more concretely the RuleChecker_comment, as well as RuleChecker_suppress original source code comments, now can take an optional argument called with_expansions. This from now on allows you to comment or suppress alarms on the level of macro definitions. Let us look at an example. If I run this small toy project, the analyzer finds two violations of the MISRA coding standard for Directive 1.2. Concretely, I have defined a macro with the name of my_macro and the content of a binary constant, in this case 0. Astrée correctly identifies those rule violations in lines 4 and 9. Now let us have a look at the findings. I have not yet classified or commented any of those findings. Now, one option that I have is to handle each of those findings individually at the location of their macro expansion. But with Astrée 2604, however, I now also have the option to add one single directive to the macro definition. This can look, for example, as follows. The new argument with _expansions is added to the RuleChecker comment, and if I pre-process and run the analysis again, the findings of the macro expansion have been both classified and commented as desired. This method also works analogously with RuleChecker_suppress directive. We have improved the report options in our new Astrée release. It is now possible to include the original location instead of the pre-processed code location in the report file, as well as to add source code snippets of findings to the report. To enable these options, navigate to the Reports view and create a custom report configuration. Here at the bottom of the list, you find the two new options: include source code and display only original location. I will activate both for now. Confirm with OK. And add this newly created custom configuration as an HTML report file. After I generate the report and open it, the locations of the findings refer to the original code, and on the right side we can see those code snippets responsible for the findings are now included in the report file. Astrée 2604 now provides an official integration into your GitLab continuous integration and continuous delivery workflow. You can find the Astrée component for GitLab on their official website, https://gitlab.com/absint/components. Now, if I open Astrée in the reports view and add a report file, you can see that Astrée now allows you to create two more report types now: the GitLab code quality text report and the GitLab SAST text report. Both the code quality text report and the SAST report provide a deep integration into GitLab and the pipeline you set up for your project. Instead of using the Astrée GUI client to configure a new .dux configuration with the new reports for your project, it is of course also possible to directly include those new report options to the .dux file manually or via a custom script. I am going to first show you an Astrée analysis for runtime errors and therefore use the SAST report. Here I have prepared an example project with the continuous integration pipeline. There have already been multiple automatic and manual CI runs, so let us just select one of those. And as you can see here, the console output includes the familiar analyzer output, similar to the usual A-Launcher CLI invocation. Now that Astrée produced the correct report type, the GitLab integration can process it and provide you all the features you already know from GitLab. But now let us go back to the new security tab of this pipeline. And here you can see the integration of the Astrée findings and their alarms into GitLab. In this example, Astrée errors are given the critical severity, while those 4 rule violations are given the medium severity. You can filter, of course, those items by their status as well as by their severity. You can also further process them, for example, by selecting an item and changing its status. Now, let us look at an example where a merge request is issued for our demo project. Thanks to the integration using SAST, we can now immediately see that Astrée detected 5 new potential vulnerabilities, which the new merge request would introduce into the project. We can also expand this drop-down menu to see a detailed list, in this case, 1 definite runtime alarm, as well as 2 rule violations and 2 control flow anomalies that would be introduced with this merge. We can also click on an alarm text to view its details, for example, whether it needs triage, where the problem resides, and in this case, we have an overflow upon the reference. We can also see the code snippet that this overflow upon the reference refers to. Of course, it is also possible to use the GitLab code quality report and to configure the analysis to perform rule checking only. This is actually the default behavior of our GitLab component. And this will look like this. In this case, we have two rule violations. Both are classified as major, and we also have our exact code locations listed. You can find more information on the Astrée GitLab integration on both our website as well as in the Astrée user documentation. And also keep your eyes open for a future video on the GitLab integration for Astrée, where we will go into more detail. Starting with Astrée 2604, it is now possible to integrate Astrée and RuleChecker into Visual Studio Code using the ARM KEIL Studio solution. Together with the LSP server for Visual Studio Code, this approach allows you to further streamline your workflow and achieve fast and comfortable rule checking analysis. I have now selected some further improvements. For example, we have added a new ABI option called Flush Single Precision to 0. This option specifies whether your target flushes subnormals to 0 on single precision floating point arithmetic operations. The default value is set to no, which coincides with the IEEE standard behavior. As a second selected further improvement, the global data flow view table is now more detailed. Let's see an example. Here I have run our basic examples project and switched to the global data flow view. As you can see, the variable array1 glob is an array. I can now click the arrow next to it to extend the table, and I can now see a list of individual array slices. Analogously, more details are now also shown for structs, concretely their members, as we can see here. Some further general improvements with Astrée 2604 are we have optimized storage space usage for analysis projects in the server data directory and also in the AAF project exports. We have also optimized the performance when loading large AAF files, and there are many precision improvements and also many other improvements. As always, for a complete list of new features and improvements, please refer to our website www.absint.com. Also, if you have any questions or remarks, feel free to write us an email at info@absint.com at any time. Thank you for watching.